in here in just a little bit. Go ahead and get started
Yeah,
because
I
it's
don't want to
7
waste.
o'clock.
It
Yeah.
is. We're right on time, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know about 40 people registered, but we're also recording this so that anybody can rewatch. So, and I know that those who are on here know who I am, but just in case anybody's watching the replay, I am Amy Wadlington, and I'm a life coach. And I met Catherine through a mutual business coach. We worked with a coach together, and we were put into a accountability group together about 2 years ago. Was it about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Catherine? Okay, I was trying to
It seems
remember.
so fast. Time
I
goes
know.
fast.
I was like, was it really 2 years ago?
I
But
know.
we've been holding each other accountable, praying for each other, lifting each other up, and supporting each other, crying with each other
Yes.
for 2 years. And we've talked, some weeks go by where we don't talk, but we've probably chatted or been on Zoom videos at least 10 or 15 times a month for the past 2 years. So we've gotten pretty acquainted with each other. And she knows everything about my family. I know everything about hers. And I was just telling her about my health issues that I had been having. I have autoimmunity, which most people know about. And I think that it's the Hashimoto's is the biggest culprit because I was diagnosed with Graves' disease about 23 years ago. And I never really struggled with major inflammation or pain. And then a couple of years ago, my Epstein-Barr virus flared again. And that kind of kicked everything into this crazy domino effect of just being in severe pain, brain fog, um, you name it, I was dealing with it. And some people that I talked to said, well, it's probably perimenopause. And it's like, yeah, but it shouldn't be this bad. I got to the point where I couldn't bend my elbows. I have uh,
Mm.
a Stanley, and I couldn't lift my bottle of water unless I used both hands, and it still hurt when I did it. Um, couldn't walk downstairs. I would wake up in the morning and it felt like I drank glue before I went to bed because I would wake up just totally stiff. It was the weirdest thing. I've never had anything like it. Um, COVID kind of was the kicker, I think, of what kicked everything off with me, of getting this major inflammation that I just have not been able to get rid of. And diet and lifestyle is what I push. I've been a health coach for since 2020, and just I know that diet works. I know that it helps, but it wasn't enough for me. And so when I was telling Catherine about my frustrations, and she said, I have this back pain, and somebody gave me this patch, and it helped with it, like immediately helped. And I knew that she had been dealing with the back pain for a couple of months. I think that we were praying for a couple of months on that, trying to get her some relief. And I am a very skeptical person when it comes to some things. As you know, I'm all about healthy and uh, natural lifestyle. I've used Young Living for 10 years, and some things I'm super skeptical about. I was skeptical about essential oils. I thought, okay, I'll try them, but they're not going to do anything. And 10 years later, I've been ordering every single month for 10 years. So I love them, use them, and so I decided, okay, well, I trust Catherine. I'll go ahead and try these patches. And I got the 3 month bundle because that was the best price. And she said, trying to get at least using them for 3 months is what they recommend that you do. So that's what I did. I did it for 3 months, and I guess I knew that they were working, but I was also doing lifestyle change and diet change. And I thought everything combined was what was working. And I thought, I don't need these. I'm not going to use them anymore. And then the pain came back. And I thought, well, I don't think they really worked. And Catherine said, well, try them with this other patch. It's the Aeon. I think I've
Yeah.
pronounced it right.
Yeah.
um, Aeon patch, and to do the two combined together because it really helps with inflammation. And she'd heard other people with autoimmunity having success with the two combined. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. So I did it again for another 1 month. And I was like, these things are not they're not doing anything. Well, then I stopped using them and my body totally inflamed again. And so I thought, okay, I think there's something to these things. I think they work. And I read somewhere, and Catherine confirmed that using them for 1 month for every decade that you're alive. And so I was like, okay, so I need to at least try them for 5 straight months because I'm going to be 50 in a couple months and see if they work. I will give them a shot one more time. And that this time I really notice that they are what makes the difference because every once in a while I'll eat, like we'll go to a Mexican restaurant and I'll eat chips and salsa. And I know I can't have corn, but I still eat them every once in a while. And corn inflames me every time. And we went out and I had chips and salsa and they didn't inflame me. And I was like, okay, that's weird. It's still not good for me. I'm not going to eat them all the time just because I can, but I didn't get inflamed. It didn't make me sore. I can go for walks and it doesn't hurt. I can walk down the stairs and it doesn't hurt. The inflammation is still there, but the pain is gone. And I think that I'm about 3 months in of consistency this time, maybe 2 months.
That's the key, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know that maybe, I don't, maybe you said this, but I didn't hear this. For those of you who are wondering, she's talking about the X39 patch and what that does, what it's done for her body, and
Yeah.
just sharing about that. So I love that you did consistently, and then you
Yes.
started to feel better. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so I wanted to share this with everybody else, but I don't know anything about them. I know they work, but I don't know why they work. I don't know how they work. I've done a little bit of research, but I just basically trusted Catherine. I was like, okay, if they work, I'll just use them. But I'm busy. I don't have time to do research on why they work. And I wanted to make sure they were clean. That was one thing that was important to me because I've kicked toxins out of my home 10 years ago and haven't looked back since. And so that was very important to me. Um, and that was basically all I really cared about was, does it help with inflammation and pain? And is it clean? And so I just wanted to invite Catherine in to talk to my community about how much they work, because I know a lot of people in my community struggle with pain and inflammation. And I just want to see everybody healed. And I've seen a lot of miracles with this from just me personally. And I've read some pretty miraculous stories as well. So I just want to introduce my friend Catherine, and I'm going to let her take it from here, but I will be here as well.
Yeah, thanks so much, Amy. I love that you said, I don't really know anything about them. I just trusted you. And I think that's really a key thing to anything, right? Like if you're recommending something to a friend, they're going to likely look into it because they trust you. And Amy and I are friends. We've built rapport. And I understand that the majority of you ladies that are invited tonight that are going to be watching either live or on the replay may not know me. And so I get that. And then also, I hope by the end of the night you do, and I'll open it up for a question and answers here in just a little bit. And you guys can even get to know me a little bit more if you want to ask some more questions. Be glad to answer anything that I left lingering. But we are going to be talking about X39. And I love that you said, I don't really know a whole lot about them. I didn't have time to worry so much about that. I just needed to know that they work. And I think that that's important that you said that, because Amy, we know there's a lot of helpful things out there, right? Like the oils and all kinds of other homeopathic remedies for our health, and naturopathic doctors, and all types of other things that we can take advantage of. We do have options in our health and wellness, and I love that. And so I didn't know everything or anything, I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story, my testimony too tonight. I didn't know anything at all. I trusted someone too to put them on me when I could not move or bend over to put my own pants on or go to the bathroom. Maybe TMI for y'all, but I couldn't, and it was awful. And it was something I've dealt with. The back pain was something that I dealt with for way longer than a few months that Amy's talking about praying for me. It was decades of this, and just that she didn't know me long enough to have to deal with that for all that time. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm so excited that y'all are here looking at another way to get out of pain, to feel better, to take back your health. And this is not a woo-woo thing. This is not any kind of new ager stuff. I know that some of the terminology can kind of seem that way, but this is Christ-centered. This is Jesus paid the price for our healing, and he is ultimately our healer. Okay. So this is just a tool in the hands of man that God has given us to further benefit our health and wellness. Okay. So I just want everybody to know that up front, God is at the center. Jesus is our healer. He paid the price for our healing. It's your portion. You've been healed by his stripes. Okay. I just want to start there, but I'm really excited that you're joining this evening to find out more. If you're new to my circle, most of you probably are new to my circle. If you're watching this on the replay and I just happen to post it in my community, you're not new, but I'm really passionate about mentoring women on their wellness journeys from a biblical perspective. I really deal with a lot of mindset stuff, and I love to help find inner healing so that they can live healthier lives God's way. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about something really special and groundbreaking. We're going to be talking about the X39 cell regeneration patch. Okay, I'm going to get into that. It has such a potential to totally transform your well-being in ways that you probably never imagined even possible. Maybe at this point in your life, you've even given up thinking that you'll ever live a pain-free life, or you maybe have agreed with the lie that it's always going to be this way. And I know that I had at one point too about my back. I cried. I got angry at God. I spent all the time, doing all of the things, and had just given up and agreed with it will always be this way. But I'm just telling you right now, it does not have to be that way. And we're going to be talking about that. So I want you to sit back, relax, open your hearts to receive. If you want to, go ahead and grab a pen, grab some paper to just jot down any questions that you might have so that later on you're not forgetting them during the Q&A as I'm chatting. I'm not going to get into a lot of technical things in this presentation tonight that I'm going to be sharing. I'm just going to be sharing the basics, the things that matter. There's a lot of information out there. If you want more technical deep dive stuff, again, ask me at the end, and I'm going to give you a lot of resources for you ladies that are here live in the chat. And then if you're watching on the replay, you can catch a lot of that information in the description. Okay. So I want to make sure that you have a pen and paper and that, you're ready to ask any questions or jot down any important information as we go. And if God's led you here tonight, there's a good chance that you're about to unlock a new chapter in your health. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to hear. I'm going to be sharing some more stories and testimonies of healing this evening. But for right now, I want to share my screen. So give me just a second because I got to push some buttons here. And I'm going to make sure everybody can see that. Can everybody see that pretty woman there with the patch on her arm? Amy, I can only see your face if you shake your head. Okay, great. All right. So most of you that are here tonight could answer this question. Have you been patched yet with no? That's why I'm here. Like, no. But some of you may have already tried X39. Actually, Amy, as you were sharing this in your Facebook group, I thought that it was really cool that many ladies raised their hand and said, oh, yes, I've been using that for X amount of time, or I just started that, or I've done that before. And it was, I need to get back to it. So there are women who are here tonight. I have to be clear about that, who may be patched already. Okay. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about that little patch that's on this woman's arm right over here. I actually have one. You probably can't see it very well on my arm right here as well. This X39 patch. It kind of looks like a little Band-Aid, but it's better. You can see it on her arm over there. But this patch is going to help you activate your body's own stem cell production. Okay, we're going to be talking about that. That's a lofty thing to say. I know they're like, what? But I'm going to show you how. Okay, I'm going to tell you how. We have some proven patent information. So by the end, you're going to understand this just a little bit more. But this patch is designed to elevate and to activate and to regenerate your body's health, which is something I've experienced for sure. And let me make sure that I can, there we go to the second slide. And so I want to talk to you before I start talking about the patch. I want to talk to you about the guy that made the patch, because this is very important to me. It was very important. This was the number one important thing to me, above and beyond how does the patch work. So I really just want to quickly dive into who this guy is. This is David Schmidt. He is the CEO and inventor of X39. He is the owner of the company called Lifewave. And the reason this is important to me is because when I first heard about this company, Lifewave, and this patch, I was just given some information. And I thought, well, honestly, I really believe that God told me in the year that I was introduced, which was 2023, to these patches, that I would not be working with anyone that was not working with him. And so I really felt it important to know who was at the helm of this creation, because obviously we live in a really weird time where I'm just going to go around putting any old thing on my body. I'm just not. I really am not. And just like Amy said, like there's so much out there. We're just really living in such toxic environment. I felt it very important to know who it was, and just a little bit about the company, a little bit about the mission of Lifewave. So before we jump in too far, I just want to share with you a little bit about him. But first and foremost, he's a man of God. That was the number one thing that I learned. He loves the Lord. He openly shares his faith. When he was sharing on a stage somewhere for some organization about X39, he said that, I mean, openly said this in front of a bunch of smart people, that God woke him up and gave him the code from the Bible, mathematical code from the Bible, to create the X39 patch. And I thought, okay, wait a minute. Whoa, that's awesome. So this was never said, but this was just a revelation that I had. Jesus died, like I said, for us to pay the price for our ultimate healing and our eternal life, right? He did that. He bore those stripes. How many of them? 39. Whoa. Like that was a big deal to me. Like I personally look into things like this, and I don't think there's a lot of coincidences in life. So I paid attention. But as far as this guy right here, he has over 130 patents, but I really didn't care. That was just nice. He's a scientist and inventor. That's great because God uses his people. He uses his people in every area to do all kinds of things. But he specializes in age reversal. And that's going to be really important for us later on. This company actually is a 20-year-old company. And he didn't just come out with X39. Okay. This has been around for a long time. He was actually contracted by the military to create some kind of helpful device for the military, I think it's the Navy SEALs actually. He developed the first wearable technology, the first patch ever, specifically for the Navy SEALs, which was called energy enhancers. That was the first patch that ever came to market. And it was for the government, the US government, because they needed energy. They needed stamina. They were like stuck in these little one-man submarines for days, 36 hours with no sunlight, and they were hopped up on some kind of crazy stimulants and all this other stuff, and it just wasn't healthy for them. And so they knew that, the US military knew that. And so they were looking for solutions, and David Schmidt was able to offer them a solution using phototherapy. And phototherapy is just, like going out into the sun. Phototherapy is important. It's an important tool that a lot of people use in wellness, but it's a natural thing that's been around for, forever. Okay. So the sun, as long as the sun has been around, there's been phototherapy, light therapy. And so that was pretty cool, that he created these patches which gave them energy, helped them to stay up, increase their stamina, done all the things without any substances, chemicals, any stimulants going into their body. It was just their body's natural light that helped them do this. So that was pretty cool. But he has over 70 patents and in regenerative science. So this guy knows a lot about the human body and how it responds and how it works. And so in 2008, David Schmidt started focusing his attention on stem cell research. He had already been producing lots of patches, and for some reason, God gave him this, and that's what he started doing, creating the X39 patch in 2008. I was about to say 2018, but it doesn't even say that on the screen. Anyways, and he got, this recent patent that he got for this technology for the X39. He got a 20-year patent on this. It took him 10 years to get that, to make this right, to make this work, to make this do what it's proven to do. It took him 10 years and over $4.5 million to bring the X39 to market. So this is a big deal. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort, and it took a lot of research. So I want to share with you a little bit about the patent, because I'm not a patent expert by any means, okay? But this is important to some people. So this is a 22-page document. You are welcome to go read the whole thing. I'll give you the information by the time we're done where you can go read the whole thing if that's your thing, but it's not my thing. Okay, so we're just going to jump into the most important things in this patent. And for those of you who know anything about getting a patent, getting patents is not just something to just throw around and give away for free just because you know someone. It really takes a lot of effort to get a patent of any kind. I mean, a lot. You have to be able to prove, right, that it really works beyond a shadow of a doubt before they will allow you to patent that. And we have, like I said, a 20-year patent. I think the patent runs out in 2040. So from the time that it was released. But this is a one of a kind wearable patented technology that nobody else has. Nobody else has. You can't just go out and get this anywhere. You can't just go out and get it at Walmart. You can't just, run on Amazon and find it or eBay and find it. You're not really supposed to be able to find it. I think there are some people out there that might sell their little packs of patches. This is what the packs of patches look like. And there's 30 in this is a sleeve. We'll talk about that later. But you can only get them through Lifewave. Okay. This is not a Me Too product. So I know that Amy, you mentioned oils. There are lots of other essential oil companies than just the one that you're in. I know that you're aware of that. And anybody else that sells anything else that's here tonight, you know that too, that there's a lot of ways probably to get more jewelry, more makeup, different brands of, essential oils or whatever else it is out there. This is a one of a kind product. It's not a Me Too product. So, like I said, you can't just get the patents for nothing. So right here in this patented technology, there's a little paragraph that says, according to at least one embodiment of the invention, which may be worn anywhere on the human body. And that's really important because the studies were done. When you get this thing in the mail right here, you're going to get a little packet. It's going to come in here and it's going to give you this little pamphlet. Okay. And this pamphlet right here will tell you to wear it in specific spaces and places, but you don't have to wear it there. This is where I wear mine typically, on the back of the neck or right under the belly button, but you can wear it, according to these studies in the patent, anywhere on the body. So that's really important. But when you wear this anywhere on the body, where was I at here? It causes a beneficial effect, at least by providing phototherapy to the human body. And for example, in some embodiments, as a result of elevating a copper peptide, which is what this patch does. Okay, so in order to stimulate your stem cells, you have to raise this peptide in your body called GHK-Cu. If that matters to you at all, it elevates a peptide in your body, and it does what this says. Okay, as a result of elevating copper peptides, including the activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, that's huge. We all need those, right? Reduction of inflammation, management of pain, right? We did that. Improvements in stamina. We need that to run our race with endurance, according to the word, right? We need stamina. Okay. Oh, hey, I just raised my hand on the screen. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know how to get that off there, but there it is. And also elevates collagen production and improves wound healing. So collagen is not just for beauty, not just for your hair, skin, and nails, because a lot of us are like, oh, we put collagen in my coffee. Oh, I slather collagen creams everywhere. It's not. It's for internal parts of our body. Like we need collagen in between those joints, like Amy talking about trying to pick up our 25-pound giant Stanley cups. Things are heavy. They are heavy. You are not kidding. There's like a big weight in the bottom of it, I think. I had my stepmom come for my oldest son's wedding, and she was trying to pick up my cup out of the cup holder in the car. She's like, oh my goodness. And I know they're heavy anyway. So we need collagen, right? We need collagen in between those joints to be able to do our weightlifting when we drink our water. So just a little bit about that. You can read more again about the patent. And you can do that, and I'll give you the website to be able to do that before we end tonight. So why X39 stem cell activation patch? Why is this such a big deal? Why are we here tonight doing this? Why are you here listening? Why are you interested in this? All this stuff. We're going to talk about this for just a little bit, okay? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster your body is going to age, and the slower you're going to heal. Okay, so we all know as we age, our health typically declines. I try not to speak that out into my life, but that is a thing. We get gray hair, we get wrinkles, we start to hunch over, we start to make noises when we stand up, like, every time we stand up. And Like Amy said, waking up feeling like she had drank glue the night before, feeling stiff and achy. Those are the types of things that typically happen. And the reason for that is because of a decrease in our stem cell production in our body. So like what happens when a little kid falls down? They fall down, they say, ow, they may cry, they get a little hug, they jump back up and they take off and they're fine. Even if they get a cut, they heal very quickly. Most kids are very resilient. We just call them like little rubber balls. They're fine, right? What happens if you're 60 and you fall? Or sometimes if you're 40 and you fall, um, you're hurting, right? Like I think I'm 41, by the way. I keep thinking, anyways, I'm 41, but you fall and you hurt yourself. And then you're like, ow, ow, ow for 3 weeks. You may even have to go to the doctor. You may have to have surgery. Like there's all kinds of crazy things that happen as we age. When we fall, we don't heal as quickly. It takes us longer. It's because we have this decrease in our stem cell production. Okay. So this is part of the reason for the aging process. This is actually the number one reason for the aging process in our bodies. So the good news is with X39, they're going to wake back up and they're going to go back to work because, by the time you're 30 years old, you're only running, was what I call it, running on half of your body's stem cells. So only half of the stem cells that you had before the age of 30 are active and doing their job. And if you know anything about stem cells is the healing cell of the body. It goes and morphs into whatever it needs to morph into. If you're not sure a lot about stem cells, just Google it. You can find out people are getting stem cell injections all the time in localized areas. They're getting stem cells injected that are not theirs because they're in so much pain. And when they get those stem cell injections, first off, they're not their cells. They're somebody else's or pigs. I don't know all, but it's not theirs. And it's very expensive, extremely expensive and painful. And there is only a very small chance that that will actually work to help alleviate any type of pain. And I've heard from hundreds of women that I've talked to since utilizing the X39 patch that have said different things about therapies that they've tried before. And one of them has been, I've gotten stem cell injections in my foot. This is one story, for instance. It did not help me. It was actually even worse afterwards. And then they tried the X39 patch, and just within 2 months, all the pain in their foot was gone that they couldn't figure out how to deal with. Okay. They had been dealing with it for a while. So I'm not saying stem cell injections don't work. I'm just saying if you go research them, they don't have a very high percentage of working, 100% of the time. They just don't. Okay. And they're
My
very,
mom had to, oops, I'm sorry. My mom had them injected in her ankle, and
Mhm.
she had to do it twice because the first time didn't work. $3,500 both times. And the second time it relieved some of the pain, but the pain is still there. And 3 years later, I think it's probably been 3 years, but she spent $7,000 on hoping that it would help, and it really didn't. So
And
yeah,
see, that's the story. Thank you for sharing that. That's the
sure.
story of so many people, unfortunately. That is not the story here. So I said that at 30, half your stem cells are active. At 60, you lose almost all stem cell activity in your body. And we need that. Like we need our stem cells to go to work, not just to keep our hair looking awesome and our skin to look good and our nails are growing strong and our eyelashes are longer. But we need it to heal our internal organs. We need it to keep cancer cells at bay. We need it, like for lots of different things. We need it to go in and heal them to go in and continue to heal our body. So that is why this is such a big deal. It's a big deal to me to be able to share this with women or anyone in general, but I typically get to talk with women mostly because I know what we're living through and I know how they work. And I know that they've worked for me, and I'm going to share about a little bit about that later. But for right now, let's jump in just a little bit more about how X39 works. And so before I go any further, I just want to make sure everybody knows I am not a doctor. I am not this person, that scientist that knows all the things. Okay. I really don't. There's lots of information out there for you. I'm going to make sure you know a website you can go to really dig in and dive in, hear from even from real doctors who can explain a little bit more about this. As far as like the deep dive stuff, if you're really wanting to do that, it's available for you. But here's how X39 works on the most basic level. What you need to know: it is a proprietary form of phototherapy. Okay, X39, this patch, like Amy said earlier, she was wondering if there was any, if it was clean. And it is clean because nothing is going into your body. It is a patented nanocrystal technology. So right there in the center of this little patch, there's like a little white spot right there in the center. If you can see that, something. Okay, there we go. That's the nanocrystal technology. It's like a little lattice, and it's done in a specific way that reflects light to activate. And what kind of light? Your body's infrared light, your body's natural light. Like if you don't think you emit light, you do, because like you can see night vision, right? You can see people's bodies in night vision goggles. That is the light that is used to activate this patch. So if you were to take this whole pack of patches right here, for instance, and put them in your pocket and wear them around in your back pocket all day, you'd activate them all. So you don't want to do that. Okay. You don't want to do that. And so it's using light. Okay. Reflects light to activate. That's how it works. It is non-transdermal. Okay. Non-transdermal means it's not going into your body in any way. Nothing is going into your body. The reflective, the heat, right? The infrared heat light from your body, emits, activates this patch, starts raising the copper peptide in your body to activate, to regenerate, to reawaken those stem cells that have just went to sleep and just are a little dormant. They need a little like pick me up, little cup of coffee. Okay, guys, we're going to get back to work. Okay. So that's what happens. And there is so much more that you could dive into about like the technical stuff about how this works and why and blah, blah, blah. It's wonderful. It just works. Okay. So it's non-transdermal. That means nothing's going into you. There's no drugs, there's no chemicals, there's no stimulants. So there's no negative side effects from wearing this. You can wear it and be on any medication that you want, and there will be no negative side effects to wearing this patch because of any kind of medications that you're on. I personally am on 2 blood pressure medications, and no negative side effects. Okay. So no negative side effects in any of these studies that have been done. It's non-invasive. So you won't like have like some transdermal, that's the word, some transdermal patches that you would put on be putting something into your skin. Nothing is going into the body. It is just working to elevate that peptide. So it's non-invasive. And before I move a whole lot further too, I want to make sure that I make this claim that I am not claiming that Lifewave products or X39 is going to, treat or cure or prevent any kind of medical conditions. Although I can just tell you what I know, I've heard, and what the studies have said. That's why I showed you that patent earlier. So here's just some of the benefits of the X39 patch. You're going to experience increase in your strength. No doubt you're going to feel stronger. You're going to notice I can pick up my Stanley cup. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. You can pick up your kids. You can run and do things more. You're going to experience reduction of inflammation very quickly, I might add. Okay. That is the number one thing that happened to me when I put this patch on. And so when I put this patch on, my back had went out. My back goes out, and it was going out frequently because I have a herniated disc in my low back that touches a nerve. And when it touches that nerve, I'm out. Okay. I can't move. And they said really the only thing that can be done is some type of surgery to relieve the pain when it happens, or get cortisone shots, which I said, no, heck no. And, basically just live with it. Physical therapy, strengthening, which helped a little bit. That physical therapy definitely did help a little bit to keep me more in line chiropractic care. I lived in a chiropractor's office for like 15 years, regularly, weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, sometimes tri-weekly, to keep myself going. Insurance did not pay for that. So you can imagine how extremely expensive that became quickly, okay, just to maintain my back. And so when my back went out, I called my friend he and his wife are ministers of healing. They just pray for people's bodies to be healed, and they are healed. And so I called him. I had already prayed, him and his wife had already prayed for me before, like 3 times in the time that I had known them. And so I felt like so embarrassed, but I was like, I don't care. I'm going to get prayer. So I called him. I said, hey, could you guys pray for me? And he said, absolutely pray for me. And brought me these patches as well, just brought them to my house. And that was the number one thing that I experienced in that time frame was a reduction of inflammation. And that inflammation is what causes so much pain in our body. Arthritis is because of inflammation. The pain from arthritis is because of inflammation. I've had these patches put on. I think she's like 86 or 7-year-old woman that I know personally. She was a worship bass guard bass guitar worship leader, and she rocked, we called her rocking granny, and she put on a patch, and she had terrible arthritis in her thumbs, and within a couple of, I think it was like 3 days for her too, which is funny because it was 3 days for me. Within 3 days, she experienced an incredible relief in that pain in her thumb that had never really gone away. She couldn't remember the last time since before she was 60. And that is because of reduction of inflammation. And that's what happened for me in my back as well. I'll share a little bit more about that later again. But this also is going to give you an increased stamina. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bible's clear. Paul says, run your race with endurance that's set before you. How can we run our race with endurance with crazy amounts of inflammation and no strength? Not possible. Right? We need stamina. A marathon runner needs stamina to maintain their pace through the race. So we're not in a sprint in this life. We are in a marathon. We need stamina. I know that if you don't have it, you're already like, I know, Catherine, I need it. That's why I'm here. Okay. So you're going to have an increase in your energy. You're going to feel that vitality coming up. So when you have energy, you're ready to take on the tasks that you need to take on without feeling drained. That's really important. Vitality. You're going to have that feeling of just just better. Like I'm going to start enjoying my life to the fullest because I'm going to feel emotionally and mentally invigorated. You're going to begin to experience mental clarity, brain fog. We're going to talk about that. I have a testimony about that. Brain fog is going to be gone pretty quickly, which is a huge deal for people who have an autoimmune issue, is brain fog. And as we age, even perimenopausal, all that stuff, premenopausal, all those, starts messing with our brain. You're going to experience restored muscular and skeletal conditions in your body, improvements in sleep. These are the number 1 and 2 things that I hear from people the majority of the time. Everybody's body responds to these differently. But I hear these things the majority of the time. I have better sleep. I have more energy right away. Those are the 2 things that most people experience pretty quickly. They're deeper sleep, more restorative sleep, which is really important. And also an improvement in your skin appearance. So this is pretty incredible. Like if you're like any of those benefits are for you, you can just type in the chat. That's exciting. Okay. So I'm going to show you this really quick, just this study. This is the results of a topography test that was done on a 77-year-old woman that was put X39 on the back of her neck. When David Schmidt was doing this study, he was actually encouraged not to use the 77-year-old woman because she was going to make the study look bad. It wasn't going to work. And he's like, no, we're going to use this. We're going to do it on the 77-year-old. And so he went through with it because he knew it was going to work. And so you can see there in session one, she did not have X39 on. She had inflammation in her brain. She had a lack of brain coherence. That's all the red there. Okay, so that in session 2, 3 weeks later on X39, she didn't have any more inflammation. She had improved brain coherence. You can see there's a lot more going on there that just seems calmer. There's a lot more blue. It coming into that more healthier state. And then in session 3, 6 weeks on X39, she had a complete turnaround in her brain health, according to that topography map, and she had better brain coherence. So this is what it said. It can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive. I'm pretty sure that was how I was too before X39, way too hyperactive, especially living on the internet. Like I feel like everything I do is on the computer, which doesn't lead to anywhere good. So her brain really calmed down dramatically at the second visit after wearing the X39 patch for 3 weeks. And her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. So I don't know about you. This right here was very important to me because my brain health matters. I do not want to develop dementia. I want a healthy brain. Our brain is an organ just like our heart. We need to take care of it, okay? So here are the long-lasting, long-term results of using X39. There's been over 80 clinical studies done. You can find these studies at thisisitinfo.com. I'm going to make sure you guys have that website, but it's right here on the slide, actually, thisisitinfo.com. So in the first few days of wearing this X39 patch, this little wearable technology right here, you're going to have 4,000 genes in your body begin to reset. That's huge. Within 6 weeks, like we saw a minute ago, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, collagen is increased. So that's your 90 days. Okay. So within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Now, hold on 1 second. How in the world could you tell me my heart is going to reverse age in 6 months? That's crazy. Well, it does, because in this clinical study it talks about vascular health. I personally have experienced this issue. I have some heart condition that I don't know what it's called, but it's a thickening in my heart. I knew when I saw that within 6 months, your heart reverses in age, I needed to wear the X39 beyond the fact that my back was in a lot of pain and the inflammation was, a struggle bus for me, which was gone in 3 days. And I was up moving, which is amazing. Normally takes me 3 weeks after my back goes out to get up and move. But with this, how do you monitor that? How do you know that your heart reverses in age? Well, this girl right here has to see a cardiologist every 6 months. So I was going to be able to tell, because they have to do an EKG, they have to do an echocardiogram every 6 months. So it just so happened I started the patches in August of 2023, February of 2024. 6 months later, whoa, I didn't plan that. I had to have those tests done. When I went into the heart doctor, the cardiologist, read the results of my tests. And he said, well, your heart was at a 1.2 centimeters thick. It's now at a 1.0. What are you doing? Because it supposedly is irreversible. It's only to be maintained. It's only to be made sure that it doesn't get worse. It can lead to heart failure and all kinds of other issues. I have this documented on paper. And I told him what I was doing. He said, keep doing it because it's working. So praise God. I have another one scheduled in August. So I'm excited to see the results even better from that, because it'll be a year, right? Every 6 months. So this is not anti-aging. This is age reversal. That's huge. That is so huge. I just wanted to share that with you. So here's how you wear the X39. You wear this for 12 hours. You put it on in the morning. What I do is I brush my teeth. I put it on. It's right there by my toothbrush. Some people put it by their coffee pot so they can see it. We anchor habits, right? So you can see wherever you're going to put it on. Put the patch on either the back of your neck or 2 inches below your belly button, or like you guys saw in the patent, anywhere where there's pain in your body, you can put this patch on. Okay. They just did in the clinical studies, those two places. Okay. But you put it on for 12 hours, take it off 12 hours and rest and repair. Okay, so for what I do, I put it on when I brush my teeth. I take it off at night when I get in the shower. So that's more like 16, sometimes 16 hours for me, but between 12 and 16 hours is fine. And then you just take it off, throw it away, put on a new one the next day, and do it again. Okay, so you don't really want to wear it to bed because you want it to kind of mimic the natural flow of the sun, the light, like you're up when the sun's up and you sleep when the sun is down. So you can wear more than one patch through Lifewave at a time. You can wear more than one X39 patch at a time. I don't know why you would, but you could. It's not going to hurt you. But you can wear more than one patch at a time. I personally wear, like Amy said earlier, X39, I wear Eon, and I wear X49 also, which we're not going to get into today. But I wear all three of those patches. I know people that wear more than that. You don't have to, because X39 really covers so much, and that Eon is really helpful for inflammation. And they call it the pain patch or the happy patch because it also helps balance your sympathetic and parasympathetic system. That's Eon. We won't get into that too much tonight either. But Lifewave does offer other patches. They had a bunch of other patches before X39 came out. When X39 came out, it just kind of covered so much that there's not a whole lot of need for wearing those other ones, unless you just really want to. Okay. And so, and there are benefits to wearing them. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But when you're wearing the X39, you need to make sure that you're doing a couple different things. These are some mistakes that I see people make, in slowing down, getting results. They're not drinking enough water is number one. So make sure when you're wearing the patch that you are drinking plenty of water, 64 ounces a day minimum, half your body weight in ounces. would be even better. Okay. So drink plenty of water. The number two mistake is like continuing to eat gobs of fast food, chips, cookies, all the things, inflammation foods. So if you can try to reduce that in general, like Amy said, like I know diet helps to heal inflammation in your body and all those things. Absolutely. But still, the majority of our food is still filled with so much stuff, chemicals that even the healthier things from Whole Foods and other places, they seem healthy, but they're still full of chemicals that do cause inflammation in our body. So just try to reduce that a little bit if you're like a super fast food eater or something like that. So those are the only two things I always make sure to tell people to do to get the most benefit. But you definitely want to drink plenty of water because it's likely when you put the patch on for the first 7 to 10 days, you may detox. And that drinking plenty of water is going to push that energy through your blood. It's going to help you to not experience any kind of detox. And what I mean by detox is just you might have, some people have had headaches. I did not have any issues. I had no detox issues. But some people, if they have a lot of heavy metals in their body, it's going to help to detox those types of things. It may make you feel a little tired or a little headachy for the first few days. That goes away really quickly. Making sure you drink plenty of water, which I do on a regular basis anyway. So maybe that's why I didn't experience, anything negative. Okay. So, I'm going to share some testimonies with you because it is very sophisticated, but it's very simple at the same time. Okay. That's why I don't need to get into all the technicals about it. But the best thing about X39 is that it absolutely works. So I want to share some testimonies with you because this could be your story too. This could be your story too, ladies. I did a YouTube video in September of 2023 that a ton of people have watched and commented on. This one lady, she commented and she said, my husband and I have used them. And in the first 4 days, noticed that sciatic pain and neuropathy was gone. That's huge. They slept all night for the first time in 12 years, which they were only usually sleeping 3 hours a night. And that psoriasis cleared up and energy went through the roof. That's in 4 days. That's awesome. Okay. That's awesome. So that was just in a comment under that video on YouTube. A friend of mine here, you can see this little text right here. It says today at 4:52 a.m. She is a 70-something-year-old LPN. She's a nurse. She works at night. So she texts me at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just the way it is. But I don't see it till I get up. But she texts me this. She came to my home. I offered her to try these patches and I gave her a few for free to try. And she said, Catherine, I understand immediate results are not to be expected. But after a 6-hour workday, I have the feeling of extra infused energy somehow. Usually post any day of work, I'm ready to crash. Sorry about my dogs out there if y'all can hear them. Usually I'm ready to crash. And that was a major change from the usual. It's like some minutes of time of how things were in the past rolled back. And I call this a praise report because God is doing something. And I love this word, fantabulous. And so she was feeling great in a really short period of time. And let me tell my husband to get the dogs because they're just having a fit out the window, I believe, at the neighbor's dogs, probably. So another lady said, my jaw pain got better after a few days. I definitely think it's because I grind my teeth and hold my jaw. So it went there first. This is another one. I've only been on X39 for 3 months. This is again underneath that video I posted. Someone commented. There was some really negative comments. So I think this woman was like, I'm just going to tell you how I feel. Because, so there's always naysayers like out there, right? So she said, I've only been on X39 for 3 months, and I went from having migraines every week to only once a month. My tendonitis is no longer limiting my hand, the use of my hand, and the numbness in my thighs from my spinal injury is going away. And then she's just going into the negative person that was sharing. Another lady, she says, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I can tell you that chronic pain can take a while. So be patient. You didn't get there overnight. You might not get out of it overnight. I love that. So she also includes, be sure to drink a lot of water. So that's really important. And this one was cool. Cami, she's in Amy's Facebook group, and she had saw where Amy was like, hey, we're going to be doing this workshop. And she chimed in. She said, hey, I've been using these, by the way. And this is what she said when I asked her, can you tell me how you've been feeling on them? She said, great. Yeah, sure. No brain fog, like instantly gone. That's awesome. Didn't we share that? I shared that with y'all earlier, right? Airborne allergies are gone, joint pain gone, overall improved energy, reduced inflammation everywhere. My neighbor, like the one that the dogs were just freaking out about, Her and her husband started the patches at the same time. So everybody's body is different. Everybody responds differently because they're going to go to work in your body where you need it the most. Her husband lost 20 pounds in 1 month. She didn't. She was like mad about it, but he did. He lost 20 pounds of inflammation. That's crazy. That's amazing. In 1 month, I said, did you do anything different? Did you like stop eating certain things? And he's like, no. No, that's all I did. Just put this patch on. I'm like, yes, that's amazing. So she also experienced a reduction of inflammation, stronger nails, and improved elasticity of her skin. And that she said, for the record, I have Hashimoto's and I battle fatigue regularly. That's amazing. Another lady, day 5 of wearing these things. Let me tell you, I'm doing way more work, feeling better with more stamina, and I'm sleeping through the night, not having any arm, wrist, hand, throbbing pain, numbness, tingling, which usually comes with the work that I've been doing. And also feel like my digestive system and metabolism is starting to wake up. So thankful for what I'm seeing so far. I want to show you this picture. Actually, somebody was giving a presentation that I saw and they shared this, and I was like, I've got to share this with y'all too. This is somebody that person that knows personally. I do not know her personally, but I listened to the story and I thought it was amazing. You see this blonde right here? She was a friend that loved on her enough to share the X39 patches with her. And she also had autoimmune issues. She said, I was just laying on the couch, just couldn't hardly move. I was very tired all the time. And she started the patches, and you can see there in May. And then in August, by August, that is how she looks, like completely different. She said her hair started growing back thicker than it ever was. She's brighter. You can tell she's brighter. She's thinned out. The inflammation is gone. She doesn't have the energy issues anymore. That was huge. And this lady over here with the red eyes, she did some kind of crazy ablation stuff to her face. She's an esthetician. And she said, normally when you have that done, it takes a few weeks to heal. This was a few days of healing because she wears the X39 patch. Rapid healing. That's huge. So I thought that was incredible. I want to share this video with you. This is a video that I created and put on TikTok, so it's going to look like a TikTok video because it is. But I want to tell you about Sandra. Sandra is this wonderful woman who found me on YouTube. Her and I are like soul sisters. I love this woman so much. She had the most amazing story. She has a huge list. She kept up with her symptoms pre and post using, and and she and I did an interview. I posted it on my YouTube channel, and she had a lot of really great things happening in her body. And I want to share just a little snippet of what she shared about her knees. But one of the greatest things she said too, to me, besides what she's going to say, is the inflammation in her body was reduced so much that her shirts started feeling loose, like she started feeling looser in her shirt area, and her ankles had been so inflamed for so long that the reduction of inflammation caused like a lot of loose skin. She could start to see like loose, saggy skin around her ankles, which did tighten up over time. But that was in 8 days. She experienced a lot of really great things. So I'm going to just play this video for you so you can listen really quickly. She's going to share for about a minute.
Like before I could do 5 miles or a light jog or anything and not have problems. But once the knee problems started, they would just like seize up. And what it felt like was like wooden hockey pucks inside of where my kneecaps are. Even though I wanted to move, I couldn't move. It was frustrating, but at the same time, it was scary. And when you go to the doctors, what they're talking about is surgery. And I'm like, oh, no, not yet another surgery. And knowing all about the knee surgeries where they might take, they might not take. It's not forever. It's not guaranteed. And I was like, no, there's got to be a better way, which is why I was looking at the stem cells. The first couple of days, what I felt was a strengthening in my knees to where I couldn't really stand for long without feeling that I just described. Now I was able to stand for longer without getting that feeling. Now I was attempting to walk a little more.
Sorry about that. Forgot it made that noise at the end. But that's huge. Okay, that's huge. That was just a tiny short part of her story. And I love that she was looking at getting stem cell injections in her knee. That's why she said, that's why I was looking at the stem cells. And she didn't have to do that because her knees are no longer wooden hockey pucks. That just made me so happy. Sorry about that. I don't know why it started again when I hit the next slide. Okay. So if you want to hear more testimonies, because I could keep going on and on, but I won't. because we're ending our time here together before our Q&A, but you can go to the thisisit.info.com/testimonies website, and you can see neuropathy, immune system, improved blood sugar, cancer, hearing, joint improvement, skin issues. You can go there. You can just watch people's testimonies. You could do that probably for 3 hours if you wanted to. So there's lots of stuff out there for you to be able to find out how this is working for other people, but know that it is very individual. Everyone's body is different. Okay. So again, if you want to look into the science, if you want to do more than just the testimonies, which is also here at this website, everything, including doctors, all the other things, thisisit.info.com. You can find the studies, the patents, you can find all of that right here. Thisisit.info.com. Okay. And so this hasn't only changed our family's health, but it's also changed our finances. So there's definitely an opportunity here also to create a significant income. If that's something that you wanted to do at any point in your life, you can talk with me about that. We're not going to jump into that tonight, but I know it definitely has changed our life. So I want to talk to you about how to get started on the X39 today and your options for ordering. Okay. So you can choose from there's different ways that you can get started. The most important thing that you can do tonight, though, is just to get on X39 right away. So to get started, you can do a couple of things. You can just right now, you can text the words "I'm ready" to this phone number I'm going to give you right now, 931-297-4488. You can text the word "I'm ready." Okay. You can do that. I'm going to give you another option in a second, and we're going to help you get your order placed today at the end of this workshop. So if you're watching on the replay, though, just click in the description. There's going to be a form for you to watch. You can fill it out or not watch. You don't watch a form. But anyways, you can fill out the form and it's really quick, and I'll be in touch with you right away. Okay. Amy is going to be putting a link in the chat, though, right now for those of you who are here live with this form that I was just talking about. So you can go ahead and fill out that form. If you would prefer to text me, though, you can text me at 931-297-4488. The words "I'm ready," or you can go to the link that Amy's placing in the chat right now or in the description for those of you watching later. Fill out this quick form really, really quick so that we can call you and help you get this order placed as quick as possible tonight or even tomorrow if you prefer. But whenever you get started, these are the packages that you can choose from. We're going to help you get started on these are the most popular packages. Like Amy was saying, I got started on the 90-day supply. That is the silver pack right here. And this is what you can choose to see if X39 is right for you. We recommend everybody get on at least a 90-day supply order. So when you get started, that's just giving you at least enough to say, okay, yes, I am going to give this a good try. They do recommend, like Amy said at the beginning, one pack or one sleeve. These are called sleeves for each decade that you've been alive. 1 month for each decade you've been alive. So if you're 60, 6 months, because that's how long you need for full cell turnover. Okay. It's very important. So if you're going to give this a real try, 90 days is a great place to start for somebody to just get a 3-month supply, and it saves you $25 when you do it that way. You can get 3 packs of patches at the wholesale price, which is $299.95. They retail for $150 a piece. So you can get the wholesale price when you choose the silver pack, or you could choose the gold pack. If you and a spouse want to try them together, you would have enough for both of you. And they also throw in a free pack of patches when you choose the gold. And so the gold, you're going to get 5 sleeves of X39 and a free pack of their other patches. So you could try the Eon if you wanted to. It's free, which is fabulous. That's $499.95. And then if you want to just get the best price, the best bang for your buck, this is what my husband and I did. We ordered the diamond. That's like the biggest amount of patches you can get at once. And it's 19 sleeves of X39, and it reduces the price down to $84 a sleeve from $99.95. So that's why we did that, because it's just like, more economical for us. So those are our top 3 packages: the silver, gold, and the diamond. And all you're really paying for is the actual product. You're getting it at wholesale, and you're not paying any other additional fees. The gold, you get a free pack. Like I said, the diamond, you're getting the price down to $84 a sleeve. So, those are some of the options that you have there, and we can walk through those when you get ready to place your order and help you get that, help you get started, help you get whatever you need for yourself. And and the importance of being on a subscription. So here's the difference between just coming in as a retail customer and ordering these, which you can do straight through, if Amy invited you, through Amy or whoever invited you tonight, okay? You can just order as a retail customer and pay $150, get one pack. You can totally do that. You can also sign up as a preferred customer. And a preferred customer, you pay a $20 fee and you can get wholesale pricing just like $99.95 to get one sleeve through Amy or whoever else invited you here. But the difference is, as a preferred customer, you just have to be on an auto ship. You don't have control over that to get the wholesale pricing. So you're tied to making a commitment to get wholesale pricing, to making a commitment to having a regular monthly order. But if you sign up this way, you have a wholesale account, which is wonderful. You have no fees to do that. It's $0 to do that extra. You're just paying for your product. Then you have full control over your auto ship. You can choose to set up one auto ship for whatever you want, or no auto ship. It's totally up to you. And you keep your wholesale pricing at all times. Okay. It never goes away. So that's one of the benefits and why I recommend doing it this way. Secondly, if you're even considering that you know people that you want to love on and share this with too, you could earn a referral bonus, which is fabulous for just sharing and loving on other people with the X39 wearable phototherapy technology, which is really what I've been able to do and pray for people and love on people through this process. And so it's been wonderful for me to be able to do that. So you can choose the pack that's right for you. Just get in where you fit in, whatever works for you. And wherever you are on your journey, just get started. Okay, just get started on X39 today. This is just a little order form. You don't have to have this order form, but what will happen when you fill out that form or text that number that I gave you is that you will be able to, I'll go through this and fill this out with you. Okay, so that's about it. I want to make sure that you know this is seriously the time to make your move so that you can have that pain-free life that you've been dreaming of. There is hope for your future, right? Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that he gives us hope and a future, right? He has a plan and it is good for us. So you can get started with X39 tonight. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just stop sharing. I'm going to open up the floor for some questions and answers for those of you who are here live. If you're not here live, please feel free to type those in the comment section or, later on when this is out, and I'll be sure to respond to that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up for anybody. Make sure that you see in the chat over there, ladies, that there are some things that she placed for you. And we'll go ahead and open up the floor, Amy.
Okay, well, one thing that you kind of went over pretty quickly, but I wanted to, that I didn't know that I think is important is the Aeon patches. You said that it helps with the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. What that is, for anybody who doesn't know for sure, is the sympathetic is the fight or flight, when you're in fight or flight constantly, which I have been for probably most of my life, but at least the past 25 years. And then parasympathetic is your rest and digest system. And the only way that your body can heal is in parasympathetic. If you are in rest and digest, if you're in fight or flight and your cortisol is always really high, your body it thinks that it's in danger, and so it's not healing, it's protecting you, it thinks. And so I thought that was really cool that you pointed that out, that's awesome. And then I also wrote down the brain study is so encouraging with that 77-year-old woman, because I actually just talked to a doctor who does neurofeedback this week, and they put these things on your head, and you have to watch this movie, and it trains your brain, and it helps to heal your brain after past trauma, or that was why I was looking at it, PTSD, ADHD, there's all kinds of brain things that happen with that. But it was $10,000 minimum for me to start it. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll wait. And so to know that I can just wear these patches instead of paying $10,000.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
so good. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Amy. I was just trying to blaze on through here, girl, because I was like, we've already been going an hour. And I tried talking fast and I thought, wow, I didn't think I said all that, but I did.
You did. Oh, so do you think that wearing the patches like outside makes a difference if it's hot outside, or is it just like your normal body heat?
Yeah,
I've
it's
always
just your
wondered
normal body heat. That's a great question. It's your normal body heat, just 98.6. I mean, so that's pretty hot.
that.
So,
Right.
it's activated by your body's, actually not even just your heat, it's the light that your body emits, just like that infrared light. And so it's activated by that. And it can be activated too also by extreme heat if you did like leave them in your car. You don't want to do that either. You want to keep them in a nice cool place and only, take them out, keep them in your little sleeve. It's nice and there's a little place where it shuts back here and just keep them in here and you can keep them on your counter. You could keep them where the sun is shining and even as long as it's not like it's an air conditioned house. Okay. As long as they're in here. So yeah, it does definitely doesn't make a difference if you wear them inside or outside, but it is important that you wear X39, particularly during the day. You can wear Eon at night, but X39 during the day. And I do know I just spoke with a woman this morning as well who has an autoimmune issue, and she does it that way, where she does X39 in the day. She showers, does all her stuff at night, and puts on an Eon at night and sleeps with that on. Just what she does. I wear all mine at the daytime. I don't wear anything at night.
Yeah, me either. Okay. Can you shower with them on?
Yes, that's a great question too. They're waterproof. So the adhesive that they're made out of is medical grade adhesive. And if you're sensitive at all to medical grade adhesive, you can just wear them in your pocket. You can put them in your shoe. You can wear them like I have little shirt pockets, you can wear them in your shirt pocket. You stick them on the inside of your clothing instead of on your skin if it bothers you at all. I have had somebody tell me once that they were real sensitive to it and then but they are waterproof so you can go swimming with them on. I've swam with them on many times, showered with them on many times because I forgot to take it off till I was drying and I was like, oh yeah, I need to take that off. And so yeah, they're waterproof. They don't hurt when they come off or they're not stuck on you like totally like super glue. So yeah, they're waterproof. Good question.
Awesome. Well, I'll quit hogging your time. Does anybody else have
No,
any
no,
questions?
yeah. I'm gonna open it up the floor. We can stay here as long as y'all want. I mean, I'm here as long as you guys have questions. I will be here to answer those for sure. So if anybody has questions, go ahead and just unmute yourself. I know there was a lot of information that we shared here tonight that I shared for sure. And I talk fast so that I can get it out. But there's so much more I feel like I could share. But if anybody has any questions, and Amy, if you have any more too, feel free to just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away. Because I know when I first got started, I did not have questions. I didn't care. I legit just believed my friend. And I said the same thing you said, Amy, like, I don't care. I just trust you. Whatever patches. I thought he was talking about some crazy icy hot patches or something. I was like, whatever, bring them. You know, he said, but I'm going to pray for you, but I'm also going to bring you these patches. And I was like, I don't care. Great. And he drove them all the way to my house because, of course, I can't go anywhere. I can't move. I was sitting with ice on me, with TENS units on me. I was trying to get the inflammation down. And he brought them to my house, put one on for me on my neck. And he just brought me like 6 or 7 of them just for free and was like, here, put these on. And I was so thankful, but I was like, what in the world is this? Like, it's just, what is this? It doesn't look like it's going to do anything.
Right.
And so, but
Yeah.
I didn't really care, honestly. I didn't care enough to even go research it or anything. And I just trusted him and put it on. And I said, is it going to make me feel weird? I remember saying that because I don't like anything to make me feel any way. And he said, no, it's not going to make you feel anything. But I'll tell you what I did feel. I did feel something, which was really cool. I felt calm. I felt such a state of calm come over me. I mean, I told my husband even, I was like, I don't know when the last time is I felt this way. It like calmed me down so much internally because I was so bound and wound up with anxiety that when it came like just like put it on, it was like this flow of energy could just release and it was just so wonderful. So I definitely did feel that in the first day, but then in 3 days that inflammation was down where I was able to walk and move. And if you know me, that's huge because it would take me like 3 weeks to recover from when my back went out, and I'd be hobbling around. Oh, don't hug me too fast. I'd hold the wall, walk like an old lady hunched over for 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks was my youngest son's 5-year-old son's fifth birthday. And we had this big water slide that had planned on coming, and kids coming and everything, right? And so I'm just like, I got to be better for this party. But I was so better for the party that I was up on the slide after the kids went home, of course, plowing down the slide, like hitting the back wall. My husband's like, be careful, be careful. I'm like, I'm fine. Actually, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I really have been fine. I didn't even go to a chiropractor. And now I told you I went for a long time. Like I had to be there, had to be there, had to be there. I didn't go to a chiropractor until probably like March of this year from the time I ever put on a patch. And my husband, I told him after I ran through those few patches my friend had brought me, I told him, I said, I really want to go on these patches at least for 30 days. Can I buy a pack? Can I go ahead and buy a pack and get in and just to buy one and get a wholesale account? And he said, yeah, sure. And he came home from work that day and he said, hey, did you know? Um, and did you know that, this and this and this about them? And I was like, no, I hadn't really researched them. So he said, I think I want to try them too. And I had one and I put it on him. He had a pinch in his back, like around his shoulder area that he had for as long as he could remember. And he works for AT&T installing internet in people's homes. And he carries big, heavy ladders everywhere. I mean, they're big, big, heavy ladders. And so this pinch was bothering him in his back for, he said, as long as he could remember. And he had a neck surgery when he was really young. So he kind of like couldn't really move. He was like Frankenstein because they fused some stuff in his neck. And he said he put the patch on that morning, went to bed that night. Took it off, went to bed that night. Next morning, he woke up. He said that pinch is gone. It's never come back, not once, since he used it the very first 24 hours. And he uses them every day, just like I do. And so he has one kidney. It's very important for him to be able to, that kidney's operating well, right? So he is on these patches regularly too. So I know I hear lots of stories like this of people just having so much benefit from using them. So if there's any reservations, if you have any questions, this is your time. This is your time. But if not, we'll go ahead and end. We can get your orders placed. You can just get back with the person who invited you here and say, hey, I really want to place an order, and go ahead and get started and get my wholesale account. You can, again, like I said, text that number. You can text I'm ready to 931-297-4488, or just click the link, the little link that Amy put over here in the chat before we end. And again, for those of you watching replay later, I know there's over 40 of you who registered for this event, that a lot of you are going to be watching on the replay. So you can see that link below, fill out that form, either or, whatever works for you, and we'll get in touch with you to help you place that order, just to make it easy for you to do, so you don't have to fumble through trying to place the order, because unfortunately I don't think their website is very user friendly. So just help you place your order. Amy, did you have any other questions?
No, one thing I wrote down that I forgot to mention, I put it in the chat too, is I didn't realize that clear skin was a side effect of them. And I have had acne my entire life, and I have not had any. My face has been clear. I didn't realize that that was probably the patches that were doing that. So that's very cool.
That is very cool. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. And I love your story of healing. It makes my heart so happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you're saying, and I love your heart for your ladies here to share with them as well. I can't see your faces because y'all are not on camera, but I know that Amy loves you, and I know that she's battles and wars and prayer on how to serve you in that Facebook group and love on you the best that she can, and just pour and pour and pour into you. So this is not something that she did lightly or on a whim. This is something that she chose to do because it matters that much to her. So Amy, I'm so thankful. If there's no questions, we'll go ahead and end, but I'm so thankful that you invited me here tonight to share this, because I know it's going to totally transform the women's lives that come in contact with this information, and give this a try.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time out to
Yeah.
teach us. Now I know so much more. I know why they work.
There's so much more to know, though, I promise. Like, I just didn't get into all the technical of it, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Catherine. And thank you all for joining. It was good to see you guys here. And
Yes.
um, I know that Linda, you've been struggling and with pain, and I've been praying for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
All
Thanks,
right.
Catherine.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome.